What's up? Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up. What's going on, Bears fans? Big day here at CHGO. Got a couple new friends here on the and they're already opening up beers.
I mean, why not? Let's go.
We have an awesome new sponsor.
Yo.
Hey, you want to grab a beer?
Yeah, you want to watch the game?
Yeah, usual spot?
For sure.
All right, I'm on my way.
Peace.
Goose Island is on board as our official beer sponsor at CHGO.
That's right, baby.
Oh, man. Lawrence is going to have fun with this one.
So delicious.
We are so excited about this partnership. For those of you watching on YouTube, got to see our awesome video. It's all over social media. If you are listening to the podcast, go find it. It's on pretty much all of our Twitter accounts. You can find it. And we had fun shooting that last week. The Goose Island Tap Room over on Fulton by the United Center. A little tucked away. I honestly didn't even know what was over. Things are changing here.
I got goosebumps. I've got tears.
He's got goosebumps.
You like it? Just came to me, too.
You get a honk for that.
Straight organic. I'm getting a little goosey. The goose is loose. This is huge. Congratulations to CHGO, Goose Island.
Adam joining us. Let's go.
Yeah,
I guess I have to open
that's
mine.
a loaf
New
right over
beers.
there. Lawrence, cheers. There we go. We got gear.
I'm on the coffee.
It was an awesome day being over there. And but for the record, I have never had that cool of a conversation with any of my friends that Peck and Big Dave had. It never goes that nice and seamless, and you want to hang out, you want to do this, and just, cool, see you, like all the right words, and then you're just on your way. I've never had that in my life. Those guys are on another level.
Maybe now that we have Goose, we can have more of those seamless, cool conversations and, just have a good time like they were.
That's what we do every day here.
That's true.
Yeah, but our conversations are never that cool. Like, hey, what's up? Like, I never come correct like those two just did. It's always a little awkward with me. I'm working on it.
They're in Paris meeting Joakim Noah right now.
Yeah, they're having
that
a week.
That was the Matt Peck Joakim Noah hug moment was maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen in the history of sports media oh my God. Talk about meeting your heroes and having it not in any way, shape, or form disappoint. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Check it out on the CHGO Bulls Twitter account. They're having fun out there in Paris as the Bulls play today. This Goose Island thing I'm really excited about, guys. First of all, what's more Chicago than Goose Island, right? What a perfect fit for us here at CHGO. But, growing up where I did, sort of on the Lincoln Park Old Town border, we used to be able to walk over to like the original Goose Island Brewery. Actually, that is where I watched the Music City Miracle. I still have that memory in my brain.
Wow.
That's
I
cool
watched that
atmosphere to be in.
game at the Goose Island Brewery. So, yeah, kind of extra special for me. Used to go there all the time as a kid. Goose Island has just grown and grown and grown.
Well, and they were right in the thick of the Cody Parkey meltdown. Let's have a kicking contest. And
right.
So I went over there, saw everybody in Chicago try to step up and beat Cody Parkey. Nobody could do it. It was pouring down snow. the Chicago and the Goose and the CHGO, it's just a perfect connection. So it's super exciting for all of us today. Super exciting for me.
Yeah, I'm really looking forard to the Bears tailgates.
I like what Outlander just said. He said, need a Floose Island Stout.
Silent stat.
I mean, Floose and the Goose and the. I mean, come on.
It's a match made in heaven right there.
Well, we do have the Blackhawks Pale Ale and the Bulls City 312. These are right here, actually.
They're right in front of you.
I haven't tried. I have had them both.
A sweet can, too. Like,
The Bulls one, personal taste, straight unbelievable. Hawks one, delicious too. But the Bulls one, I was like, this is amazing. And this one's delicious, and that one's delicious. There's no lack of deliciousness.
Okay. Let's jump into some Bears talk as we celebrate our Goose Island partnership. You'll be hearing a lot more from them. And I want to stress, too, this is going to go beyond just ad reads on a daily basis. Like, this is going to be a big deal for us. Hopefully, events we do down the road, big things in the works with CHGO and Goose Island. So we're really excited about this today.
Goose for you at our tailgate events, all that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, we're still kind of in the fallout of the Kevin Warren hire, the press conference the other day. Interested to see what changes are made. I think we also got to remember that he really isn't starting yet. So,
in his mind, he is. He's already started.
Yeah.
But mid-April is where he'll actually officially start his position.
we're not going to see major changes by like Monday. Everyone.
Damn it.
And even when he starts in April, I guess. I mean, I don't know how we're going to know exactly what he's doing. That's going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff.
There's not going to be a stadium built like by April? Like, what?
Well, there will be a lot of conversation about that, actually, but not the actual stadium itself. That's true. I guess that's the main thing to monitor. But he's shaking up the whole thing, man. This is we got new leadership. This is going to be a different scene at Hallis Hall.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm more intrigued, though, by you walking in here. Or I guess I walked in here, and you were like, I know who the Bears are drafting.
So,
and you seem like you were really proud of yourself, like you had some type of insight, and then, like, you had this new idea where, like, we could do every day where we know who the Bears are drafting. I'm like, that's going to last 2 days. It's going to be Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
Well, my two draft thoughts today, if I may. Let's go back to last offseason.
Okay.
What did the Bears prioritize?
Ogunjobi.
That's correct.
Larry Ogunjobi.
Yes, that's a good point.
They went out with a $26 million offer to Larry Ogunjobi, and Ryan Poles felt terrible. And once he saw the physical, that he couldn't do it. So that's the position that he prioritized. Mm-hmm. That's what he needed for the defense.
Yep.
Does that not scream to you that Jalen Carter is a significant favorite, and if I had to bet today, January the 19th, I will put my money down that will be their selection in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I think when you tie into what's happened to this point and the likelihood of them trading out and who they would target, I would bet on Carter. That's my prediction on January 19th. Jalen Carter will be a Bear.
Yeah, and then you think of like the comments that Eberflus has mentioned throughout the season, the engine that makes this defense run, right? It's a 3-tech. The penetrator, the guy that they didn't have this season, and because they thought it was going to be Ogunjobi, and they, like you said, failed the physical, couldn't sign him. I mean, I see the logic. I can connect the dots there, Mark. Where you're going with?
I mean, we're not going super deep here. I'm not.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Free agency happens before the draft. So what if they just
Deron
buy
Payne.
that 3 technique like they tried to do last year with Ogunjobi?
Yeah. That's certainly a possibility. They could address it in free agency, and by the way, Daniel Cho, I don't think it's the most super bold it takes. I'm just telling you that's where I'm at today. But here's my other thought, which is of equal non-boldness, but yet just playing it around, which could play in Carter, or this is where it doesn't work out for Carter in my mind. He's got to pit the Colts and the Texans against each other, right? That's Poles' main job. I've got the one. You both need quarterbacks. Hello? Who wants to pay the most? So if he makes a deal, let's say with Houston, and they just go down to 2, there's no way that the Colts are then – I would just think that his buddy Chris Ballard's not going to be like, well, sure, I'll deal with you too, even though we're getting the second prize. So then if he actually makes a deal with Houston and they flip, I think he trades out of 2 with somebody else further down the line, Carolina or whoever. And if he wants to do the double pick and say he addresses the 3-tech in free agency. So my 1 to 2, 2 to 4, I'm backing off on that take. I think 1 to 2, 2 to somewhere is more likely if he does something as wild as trading twice.
Super chat from Brandon here, $5. What happens when the Bears trade down to 4 and then the Texans draft Anderson and the Cardinals draft Carter?
Oof.
Not happening. Texans are taking a quarterback, right?
I mean, Davis Mills, like, come on. That's not your future there. You have to. If you're going up to that position.
But it all, like, it all depends on what these teams think about these quarterbacks. I mean, if the Texans only like Bryce Young and the Colts go up and draft Bryce Young, they're not going to reach for Will Levis if they think there's a generational 3 technique there. If they don't like Will Levis, they're not going to draft Will Levis.
It's possible. Hey, we only like, but if that's their position, then I think they'll pay even more to get up and not get beat.
The other thing, too, is that people need to understand is, like, Caleb Williams is in the draft next year. It looks like a strong quarterback draft, maybe even better than this one.
Sure, if you're willing to punt on another year and be at the top of the draft.
Well, I just think it factors into the equation.
We got plenty of beer to drink if we need to.
I just think it factors into the equation of how desperate teams are going to be to get up there. And I'm just not sold. I think there's definitely going to be a team that – look, I think Will Levis and C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are all first-round picks. But there was a draft we know well where Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes
10 and 12
didn't go until 10 and 12. Mm-hmm. Okay, and there was just one team that reached for Mitch Trubisky. You know, I'm just –
sure.
These things get weird.
All it takes is one team, though. Like you said, one team made that mistake.
Yeah, there are 32 teams. Maybe the Bears can find the one that's not themselves.
I mean, I would.
What if the Texans get Derek Carr to go along
question.
with David? You know, there'd be sort of a family connection.
There you go.
It's a good question.
Since we're bringing up Derek Carr, do we think that Tom Brady is staying in Tampa?
Apparently,
What,
he just got Leftwich fired.
Yeah, they fired Leftwich. There's a bunch of change happening in Tampa. But is that because Tom Brady's coming back and wants?
I thought Leftwich and Brady were close, though.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't.
You see, the Gronk wants to come back too, depending on
Depending on how many ads he gets to do in the next year.
Yeah, whatever.
That's true.
The reason why I'm saying it though is if they do move on from Brady, Derek Carr is a natural fit in Tampa, I would think.
I mean, can we talk about his ad for what is it? The Navy, the credit union. What is it?
Yeah, the Navy Credit Union.
Where he's basically just trying to like pretend he's a military person or something, or like he's trying to, cheat the system.
I think those are funny ads.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like Lawrence Benedetto's moral compass.
Yeah.
But they tell him no.
Be better, Gronk.
But I want to. Why can't I get that deal?
It's just funny. It's just a bit. My goodness.
That's how he sounds.
Lawrence has an ability to raise the bar and/or be bothered by things that might not get to other people because he sees the hypocrisy or the.
It's USAA. It is
Deep level of thinking there.
I think I had the wrong one.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out Derek Carr's ad, and I wasn't following. So yes, that ad just played too much. If it had played like 4 times, we would have been good. It was ubiquitous, that ad.
The Ravens got rid of Greg Roman.
That's a big deal.
Do we need to put a call in?
For what? Lamar?
I don't know.
How about the offensive
Don't
coordinator?
start shit right now.
I'll start one more shit. Who is? I'll start one more shit. Who's Vic Fangio interviewing with? The Falcons?
Yes. Little Ryan Pace connection there. That's where
telling
all the
me
ex-Bears go.
You telling me you wouldn't want to flip? And I like Alan Williams. I've said it 1,000 times on the show. But you tell me you wouldn't want to flip Alan Williams for Vic Fangio?
So you want to switch back to the
Back to
defense
it,
they just switched out of.
Yeah, it was a good defense. I liked Vic Fangio.
Not a lot of the players here played good in the 4-3 anyway. So.
To answer your question, yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. No, it won't happen.
Okay.
Flus is not going to run a totally different defensive scheme from what he's ran his entire life.
Who was just it was Clay Harbor who was tweeting around about how Matt Nagy, didn't get to run his system, and we've heard it a million times that he just Mitch wasn't the right guy for his system. It's the same thing with enough with the systems. Take your players and put them in a position to win.
Right. And if your system needs Patrick Mahomes to work, there's something wrong with your system.
That's a bad system.
Right.
There's one Patrick.
No, Mitch wasn't the right guy to run his system. Hey, there's no the system for Justin Fields is to make sure you construct an offense that is a dual threat that scares the living bejesus out of the team that he's going to take off at any second. It's not one that he's going to sit in the pocket and be Peyton Manning back there. So I don't know. That makes my head explode. The system.
Lots of thoughts.
Get out of here.
Take a quick time out, and then we got a good interview coming up with
Already?
Chris Zorich, because Carman got a chance to talk to him. But first, you notice all the stuff here. Goose Island, 312, Blackhawks Pale Ale, Goose 312. Lawrence is hitting the honk a lot. CHGO is now supported by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988. The Blackhawks Pale Ale is a limited release, so you should go out and check it as soon as possible. And because the Hawks and Goose Island Beer Company have been neighbors for 25-plus years, Goose Pub is open in the United Center for almost 10 years now. The tap room is a pregame destination. We were there last week. The place is awesome. Hope people check it out. Somewhere we got to share that photo of the Bears crew.
I got it scheduled already, guys. Ahead of you.
Well, you should send it to our producer so he can put it up on our show that we're doing. It's a pretty sweet photo, though. RG came through.
RG did a phenomenal job, but let's just underline the brilliance of Nicholas Moreano. Already got it scheduled, using a phone that somehow was able to record Adam Hoge and Kevin Warren and make it look amazing.
Phone.
Dude is
Talented individual.
Dude is just straight not playing.
Yeah.
Some people say that Theo's the GOAT off the field in this town. I say Nick.
I appreciate you, Mark.
Goose Island also has the Bourbon County Stout, Christmas IPA, Beer Hug IPA, Green Line. I love the Green Line. Green Line's always good. And they're going to be an awesome partner. We're going to have some events coming up with them. Can't wait. Goose Island's 2 local locations are open, ready to welcome you. Grab a beer right from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room, 1800 West Fulton, or get a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week at the original Clybourne Brew House. That's my spot, damn it. 1800 North Clybourne. For reservations and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/locations. Goose Island Beer Company. Honk, honk.
There we go.
That's where the honk, honk. Look at those. Look at those good-looking.
Is that staged, or are we actually that happy at that point?
Yeah, what were we talking about?
I mean,
right
it
at this
looks
moment?
like you guys are just gazing into my eyes as I.
You're the only one with the hot dog.
You really you just want my Portillos.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're just eyeing up my Portillo. Could there be a more Chicago photo than that?
I don't think so.
Just 4 Chicago guys.
I mean, it really
inside Goose Island talking about the Bears eating Portillos.
I mean,
It's like basically a Saturday Night Live skit.
we really look like we like each other there.
yeah, we do.
I mean, Braggs is the happiest I've ever seen him. Nick, you look so incredibly curious. Myself as well. And Hoge, you're just spitting knowledge, apparently. Look at this. I'm very proud of us in this pic.
Love it.
Great.
Yeah, candid.
Great photo.
All right, guys, I have to tell everybody about private internet.
We need a caption contest for that photo.
Oh, that's a good one. I
Well,
like that.
here, this super chat from That's One Guys, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Absolutely love you guys. Not to offend, but it makes me smile. Without his glasses, I think Hoge looks like an adult Phineas from Phineas and Herb.
There you go. All
Close up.
now we're like
Is that a Luca-like?
we're like
for
in
our
bed
good
with
friend?
Hoge right now. That's what it looks like at 3 a.m. He's just
Okay.
he's not wearing the glasses.
How many
he's
312s have you
relaxed,
had?
He's
I
just
only wear
chilling.
the glasses on the show so I can read your comments on that screen.
All right.
I
I'm
mean,
an old man.
can you break down the last part of that super chat, please? Anybody?
Yeah, I think a couple of
Phineas and Herb is I was way too old,
Phineas
so
Herb.
maybe Nick watched
I
it.
didn't watch, but I can pull up a.
No, we don't need it. No,
I
if
don't
you
know.
didn't
What,
watch,
I don't know what
Herb.
Phineas and Ferb
It's
is.
Anyone?
Or Herb. Or,
Casey, you a Phineas and Herb person?
I know who Herb Lawrence is.
No.
It's a show.
It is a show.
Cartoon,
That's that is helpful.
It's a show on Disney.
All right, back to ad reads. What are we talking about, Nick?
Private internet. Yes, guys, with all these local blackouts, have you ever struggled to watch the Bears here at home, live in Indiana? Sorry, Will. Stuck in the Colts market, or even worse, Wisconsin and the Packers?
Ooh.
No one deserves that, especially this year. An incredible virtual private network, VPN, like Private Internet Access can fix that for you. Private Internet Access helps you change your IP address's location to provide an extra layer of security when finding your favorite content. Would you ever just hand your phone or laptop off to just anyone and let them peruse your search history? No. Might have you rethink some habits. Stop internet service providers from invading your privacy and profiting off your data. Private Internet Access is the world's most transparent VPN, and with over 30 million downloads, you know you'll be able to trust them to keep your online life private. A single subscription allows you to protect up to 10 devices at once. I know a ton of our fans at home and abroad have been looking for an assist like this to watch Chicago sports for a while. I'm so excited we found Private Internet Access. So, if you want to enjoy all the benefits of Private Internet Access, now's the time to subscribe. Head to www.piavpn.com/Bears and get an 83% discount. Seriously, 83%. That's just $2.03 a month.
83.
And you'll get 4 extra months completely free. But you must go to www.piavpn.com/Bears for a truly private digital life. One last time. I'll get it right this time. www.piavpn.com/Bears.
Can we just
Good work.
can we put a Twitter poll up? Who's more in love, us, the Bears crew, and or Matt Peck and Joakim? I think that's a close battle right there.
I don't know. The Peck
Paris. Yeah, that's.
the Peck and Joakim hug is.
Peck and Joe and Noah.
It's the hug.
I can't tell if it's real love or awkwardness.
It's probably a
Maybe
little
both.
awkwardness. Yeah.
I mean, love can be awkward.
Mark speaks the truth.
That's actually true. All right. Well, the first person Kevin Warren mentioned in his introductory press conference the other day was Chris Zorich, ex-Bears linebacker, Notre Dame guy, Chicago guy, right? And he was the first client of Kevin Warren. So Mark Carman, because he's so good at his job, said, "Hey, Chris, wanna come on the CHGO Bears podcast?"
And Chris Zorich said yes because he loves CHGO, and we're building a relationship with Zorich. We plan on come training camp, we're gonna get a little more Zorich. But yeah, the whole interview is up on our YouTube page, but we snipped
Not
out.
yet. It'll be up a little later.
It'll be up a
I
little
figured
late.
we'd
It'll eventually
debut
be up.
it here.
But we're debuting right now. Thanks, Lawrence. My bad. But we are debuting right now a significant middle portion of it, and so yeah, this is starting on Zorich answering. Do you actually think that the Bears being the McCaskey and the family, are they actually going to let Kevin Warren come in, shake things up, do his job, and get out of the way? And here's the start of our conversation with Chris Zorich.
Well, first thing is, if not, they're crazy. Then why hire him, right? But when you really look at it, you're talking about 30 years of doing something one way. And instantly, it's not going to change overnight. I mean, we've been around. I mean, the idea is that change doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And so Kevin talked about having a chance to interview or talk to each employee of the Bears. Hey, how can we be successful? If you were part of the McCaskey family, what would you do in order to win? I mean, these are things that I'm sure he did, not only when he went to the Vikings, but when CEOs take over businesses. They don't walk in and the next day everything's different. They walk in and literally do a listening tour. So when I became the athletic director at Chicago State, that's what I did. I walked around and had a meeting with each employee and asked them the same thing Kevin's asking: why aren't we successful? What can we do in order to be successful? And I think those are the important things that you have to do when you're coming into a situation like this. And really, any situation, you have to listen. I mean, good leaders listen. And if you have a great idea, although you may be the janitor or you may be the interim soccer coach, as in my case, and you have an idea and it's good, why not use it? Even though I didn't think about it. I mean, I have to put my ego aside in order for us to be successful. And I think Kevin kind of summed it up perfectly. He works for them, right? He's not the president. He's not beating his chest saying, hey, I'm the president CEO. He said he's a servant leader and he's going to serve the people in Hallis Hall. And I think that's a different, it's very different than what they've had in the past. As a media person in a room, I don't know about you personally, but a lot of folks were kind of fired up. And if he can get the cynical media in Chicago fired up, then what about his future employees? What about guys on the team? What about people on the board? I mean, this is what you heard from Kevin yesterday was who he is as a man. And again, he's a little bit older, wiser, but that was the same speech I heard 30 years ago.
And so I think the main reason why he's here, Chris, is because of the stadium and getting them into the next facility as grandiose as possible and, you know, making it similar to what happened in Minnesota. But then I'm listening yesterday and he's saying that, I don't know, when I'm talking with Ryan Poles, it'll be like a husband and wife having a discussion. So do you think that he'll want to sort of be in the mix around who the Bears are drafting or what free agents, and or is it more like, hey, have we done our full due diligence on this guy? Let's you know, if you go back in time, the Bears didn't talk to Deshaun Watson when they drafted Mitch Trubisky, which is like, how did you not even talk to the dude who beat Alabama in the championship game? That can't be possible, but the Bears did it. So maybe he's just like, hey, I get you're hot on Mitch, but maybe you should also talk to this dude. Maybe he's doing that. Or maybe he's actually like, you know, he says that he watches all the football, so maybe he wants to actually, you know, be a part of some evaluations. I was a little confused as to what his role in his mind will be.
Well, I think if you kind of dig a little deeper, and obviously they didn't have an org chart at the press conference, but we're told that polls will report to Kevin. And so anything that Kevin has responsibility for, he will make sure it will be successful. And I say that because I know for a fact that he will be the first person in the building at Hallis Hall, and he'll be the last person to leave. And there have been a couple times when he's been in Minnesota, again, I know this for a fact, that he's had suits in his closet at the Vikings facility because he's had to spend all night, slept on the couch, had meetings in the morning, brushed his teeth, whatever, boom, he's out there having meetings. I mean, when you talk about that type of dedication, you know his area is going to be successful. So when I say, there wasn't an org chart, but the idea, if football reports to him, as everything else will, it will be as successful as possible. And again, it's not that, hey, he understands football, he was a football player, but the idea of he's been around football for over 20 years in the NFL at the highest level. And oh, by the way, he was also on the other side. So he understands how players feel about organizations. He understands how players should be treated and respected by organizations. So he's done kind of everything else except had this presidential role with an NFL team, which I think is vitally important, right? And when you look at what he's done recently with the Big Ten, who in the world, and I've been in collegiate athletics, and before you hear a move that happens, you hear rumors about something. But I could guarantee you probably didn't. You probably were as surprised as everybody else was when you found out that USC and UCLA are going to join the Big Ten. I mean, it was like, what? Wait, what happened? There were no rumors or nothing. So you're able to do that. You're able to put together an $8 billion deal for media rights deal for the Big Ten, and really, he's the perfect person for this job at the right time.
Do you think he wants to be the NFL commissioner someday?
I think he wants to be the president of the Chicago Bears, and I think if that's something that may happen or could happen, that'd be great. But I think, as we had a chance to hear, I mean, he has passion about Chicago. He has passion about winning for the fans of Chicago, for the administration, for George Halas, for the McCaskey family, for the alumni, for everybody. And I mean, I was sitting there kind of laughing and excited and smiling because, again, this is the Kevin that I know and love, but he finally had a chance to kind of present himself to the Chicago media, and y'all were fired up. And so even if nothing else, if he didn't win a game for that moment in time, for that hour and a half, y'all were fired up because it was something different than what we were used to at Halas Hall. And it wasn't a coach, right? Because oftentimes, and this is the funny thing, it's like, well, you kind of mentioned in the beginning, is this one of your most exciting moments for the Bears? And you think about it, and you compare an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I use this because this is a great example. And I'm sure you would know this, but how many head coaches do you think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had since 1969?
3? Am I right?
3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Unlike the Chicago Bears, I mean, it seems like every 2 years, we're popping up, every 2-3 years, we're popping up new coaches. And so when you say this much excitement hasn't really been around since you've hired a great head coach, but that was kind of the norm, and you haven't done this in the past 30 years. So I think that's why everybody's excited.
No doubt. And hopefully what you're talking about with the media being excited, we're reflecting the fan base. Like that's
Absolutely.
That's the goal. I thought that, just a media touch thing that nobody cares about, but just shows his sort of understanding of the room. I've never met Kevin Warren. I asked him a question. Good to see you, Mark. Like, he like that, those little things just show relationship. It matters. That stuff matters.
And it's the small things. In order to be successful at anything, you have to take care of the small things. I was fortunate enough to be involved in a national championship with the University of Notre Dame, with Coach Holtz, and it was about taking care of the little things. And those are these life lessons that we've learned as athletes going through Notre Dame, is that in order to be successful, you have to take care of the little things. And if the little things is acknowledging someone who's asking him a question, he's saying, hey, guess what? I respect you. Now you can respect me as well. And he mentioned your first name. And so those are the small things that you'll see that people might not notice. So you noticed it. And I'm sure other folks that address him that may have never met him before have noticed it as well. But again, this is part of who he is. And he's been around enough teams, he's been around the media, that this isn't, he's just doing this because he's a president now. This is what Kevin was doing. This is what he taught us way back in the day as his clients. And so the idea is that he practiced what he preaches.
Did he ever talk to you like, man, I asked him this, and he was like, the only person I ever spoke to this to was his wife. But did you ever, maybe if he didn't say it, just get the sense that, when Ted moves along, Kevin would want this job badly? Did that ever cross your mind?
Oh, no. And I was really surprised because he was a rock star at the Big Ten. I thought he was doing great work. People give him a hard time because he shut down half the football season, getting death threats and all that crazy stuff. But, I mean, no one had a playbook for that. And he was doing the best interest of the 10,000 student athletes that he was over. And I think he addressed that when someone asked him about Justin Fields. Said, hey, he's on the team. He's the quarterback now. I was like, man, I would have done the same thing as a player. Like, I wanted to play as a player. I wanted to play, and I'm pissed off, and I want to play.
Right. And erring on the side of caution in his shoes at the time made a whole lot of sense. And then he got further information and whatever made
which
and
I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, Mark, but which shows to you what type of leader he is. Okay, so he could have said, you know what, I'm gonna stand with my decision 100%. And even if he got the information, his ego may have said, you know what, I made this decision. You know, a lot of people are going to be upset. They may think I'm wavering. No, you know what, I'm going to stick to my guns. No, he listened. And I think that's what's important, what we talked about before. When you're a good leader, when you look at great leaders, they listen because they don't know anything. And it's that ego that they can put on the side and say, hey, you know what, Mark, I don't know something. You know it a lot better than me. Can you teach me, or can you help me on this project? Can you help me do this? And he's willing to put that ego aside in order to do that. And I think that's important.
It's a great point. And that's like, for those of us who become adults at some point in our life, and I say those of us because some of us never do, to be able to say you're right and just own it. Like last night I'm sitting there, were you texting all the way down when you were driving? Yes, I was. And you're right, I shouldn't. I could give you all the I was being careful. Not a good choice. You're right. It's not. Thank you. No problem. I was wrong.
But when a person kind of mans up for that, like you, I mean, your friends, your buddies, wife, whoever, the idea of being able to admit you're wrong is important, because that means that you're securing yourself. That means that, hey, you're able to own up to the responsibility of being wrong. And guess what? When you're wrong, you learn, or you should learn from it, right? And so all of these success stories you heard about, perfect one is Michael Jordan. Right? He was cut from his high school team, right? I mean, these are, you learn from your mistakes, or you learn from adversity. And so if we lived in a society where everything was perfect, guess what? We wouldn't have a lot of good leaders.
Let me wrap up with this. When I came up and saw you at the presser afterwards, you said something which I if you're not comfortable with this, we won't go any further. But you were like basically like
at the presser.
But you were just like, hey, like the Bears don't even know who they hired. Like they don't know how good of a hire this is. So maybe just underline like what you think is coming with Kevin as the president and CEO.
Sure, and they've done the research. Like they hired a good search firm. They did their due diligence. Okay, but the person you should have on, the person that knows everything, is his assistant May, who's been with him since he started. Right, she was employee number one. I was client number one. Right, so like literally in the back of his wife's dad's barbecue restaurant, he had this tiny office, and they shared a table. And he would answer the phone, Kevin Warren and Associates, and his assistant may be laughing like, "Oh, now I'm an associate now. This is great," right? But that's the person that you can really understand and know who Kevin is, right? And I'm sure that they obviously had a chance to talk to her. But when I say they don't know who they have, I mean, I've known Kevin for 30 years. He's not changed. He's been a great person, great leader, great mentor for me, inspired me to go to law school. And they now have an individual like that who inspires people, who respects people, who goes beyond the call, who's going to be the hardest worker in the building. Yes, you have great athletes that are paying millions and millions of dollars, but I guarantee you, and I say this, and I know this is going to be true because I'm laughing, he's going to be the first person. If it's 4:00 in the morning, you're going to see Kevin's car parked out there. And if it's 9, 10, 11, 2:00 in the morning, you're still going to see his car out there. So when you have an individual who is made up of that type of character, who understands his responsibilities and is willing to go the extra mile, I mean, he mentioned taking folks from the Big Ten to Selma, Alabama. I mean, who does that? And I know people can, but he did it. And so, I mean, the idea of this is not just, hey, I'm the commissioner of the Big Ten, look what I did. This is a learning experience for those around him and those who entrust their sports team. And so again, he may not win a game, period, during his tenure, let's say, but you are going to get somebody who's going to work the hardest in that building. And when he's in control of the organization, you're going to do nothing but have success, because at the end of the day, people are going to want to emulate what he's doing, right? When I was like, man, I want to be like Kevin. I want to go to law school. I want to do the things that he's done because he's done it the right way and he's successful. I want to be like him. And I was 22. And I was very, very impressionable. So,
where'd you go to law school? Congratulations on doing that.
The University of Notre Dame. I didn't stray very far. Undergrad, played for well, then this is the funny part. Like, I retired and then I was 27, 28, and then went to law school. Like, who does that? Like, I didn't have a chance to like go to Bali. I mean, I didn't have a chance to take a little vacation. I literally finished the season, and then next May I was enrolled in law school. So, I mean, excuse me, next September I was enrolled in law school, which was insane.
That's hey man, that's a driven Chris Zorich. It's part of the reason why you got to the NFL. It's part of the reason why you played at Notre Dame. It's part of the highest level in college. Made it to the pros. Lasted over half a decade. How many guys can say that in life? About, I don't know, less than 1/10 of 1%. You were in the most exclusive country club on the planet. I'm extremely jealous. Congratulations. It's
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And what some of that focus was from Kevin. And so, I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm just excited. I feel like a proud dad, right? Because the idea that now people are going to have a chance to kind of see the type of person that Kevin is, but more importantly, what the end result will be, and it will be success. And he's going to do it the right way.
Right, last one here. I kept you twice as long as I said, so I appreciate all the time.
You're fine.
Well, let's just talk about the alumni part, because I did the Bears postgame show on WGN Radio for 7 years with Dan Hampton and Obradovich, and I know that when Matt Eberflus got hired, he reached out to Hampton, meant the world to him. I've seen many comments. I was reading today an old piece where Gary Fensick's talking about how they've never reached out to him. You've talked about the alumni part, and I just, what are you hoping to see here with Kevin, and how do you think this will go as far as bringing back so many great guys who have a tremendous passion around the team that they played for?
Well, I think it's encouraging when, as Kevin's talking about his constituents, right? Folks that care about the organization. He talked about the McCaskies. He talked about Hallis. He talked about the fans. He talked about the players. And he threw alumni in there. And he said alumni several times as he was talking about that. This is a person that's been involved in the NFL for more than 20 years. He understands. He's been around the league. He sees what other teams have done. I'm sure he doesn't know exactly how the alumni relationships are with the Chicago Bears, but when he finds that out, he may see some improvements that may be needed. Now, as a former player, as an alum, there was a time where it was, I don't want to say it was silence, but the relationship wasn't good. And then probably maybe the last 10, 12 years, it's increased. And now they embrace the players. But there was a period where there weren't. And then I thought it was, well, man, was it me? Because when I got cut, I was pissed off and I made a couple bad comments. Was it me? But then I talked to other guys and folks didn't contact them either. And so there is a change. And I really think that Brian McCaskey, who was in charge of alumni relations at the time, he really went around the league. He went and talked to people. He really improved the alumni relations. And that's where that kind of movement started. And now, we receive pins. We receive an opportunity to get an alumni ring. There's banquets throughout the year. There's golf outings that all the guys get invited to. You're getting appearances now. For a while there, guys weren't getting appearances. And so, it makes somebody feel good. I'm 53 now. When they say, hey, Chris, can you come down and sign autographs for fans? I mean, that makes you feel good because you gave your blood, sweat, and tears for the organization, and they kind of still think about you. So that's really important for the guys that really kind of had a chance to come. But more importantly, for the current guys, they can see how the alumni are being treated. And so when they know when their time is done, then they can look and say, oh, well, this is an organization that really respects their alumni.
That was Chris Zorich hanging out with Mark Carman yesterday for this show.
So nice, Zorich, yesterday.
My favorite part of that whole interview was you congratulating him on going to law school.
Well, don't you think that's a big
You went to
deal?
law school. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Hooray!
Accomplishment. Big
I mean, people who go to law school, you deserve props.
Okay.
That does not seem like fun, let alone somebody who played in the National Football League.
Do we need more
took
lawyers,
one-
Carm?
Was that?
Do we need more lawyers?
I don't know about that. That's another fair Lawrence Benedetto raising the more moralistic compass line.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, apologies to all our friends on TikTok who Lawrence during our interview.
Yeah,
offended.
sorry. I maybe shouldn't have said what I said, but I said what I said, and I said it.
Casey
I
was
said what I said.
Casey was walking around on our live TikTok. Hey guys, let's say hello to everybody on TikTok. I hate TikTok. I hate you.
I'm too old for TikTok. I can't help it.
You are not too old for TikTok.
Well,
Don't age.
I think Lawrence would do really well.
Carm's on TikTok. That means we're all
Oh, now
young enough to be on
Oh
TikTok.
no.
here we go.
Good stuff with Chris Zorich.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Carm.
Thank you, Braggs. I'm a big Chris fan. I think we all are. And hey, he's continually optimistic on what Kevin Warren's going to do. And I thought at the very end, the alumni part, I do think there is something to that, where if you take good care of the people that go out and fight for your organization and the people that are playing now see that, there can be an appreciation. I mean, is that
Yeah, and that's why I liked hearing Kevin Warren in our interview with him say that, he really valued what the alumni had to say about the stadium when they built it in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you need a good facility, and you got to take advantage of that facility, and that's why you need the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, by the way, who is committed.
wow, that's a segue.
Do you like that? It's committed to helping families, businesses like the Chicago Bears in the communities where they serve save money and save energy. ComEd offers free facility assessments that can help you find energy-saving opportunities, lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, industrial processes. You got to get after that too. Here's what we do. First of all, don't wait. You want to get started saving money today, and energy for that matter. Care about the world, care about your wallet, combination, win-win. Energy saving tips, how to schedule it, this is all you do. ComEd.com/poweringbiz, or send them an email. Here we go, team. Email them at business@ComEd.com to request an assessment online or on their website at ComEd.com. Facility assessment. Phone number, by the way, for those who like to call people, 855-433-2700. 855-433-2700. When Nicholas Moreano was single and looking for dates, you would call. You wouldn't text, right? You were a calling guy.
I mean, I've always been like a texting guy.
Always been a texting guy.
Always been a texting guy.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
like
Slide in the DM.
20 years old. There's no time.
They don't call
There's
anymore.
no phones with like the wraparound cord on the wall.
Nobody calls.
No one calls.
No one calls.
Hey, would you like to go
I
out?
call you.
But in the dating world,
Oh.
hey, would you like to go out? Hey, it was great to have us. It was cool to spend this time with you. It's all emojis.
It's all TikTok
and
related.
texting.
It's all
It's all through TikTok.
See, I
Damn
gotta say
kids.
though, like
Get off my lawn.
I was like the AOL Instant Messenger of, like that's where you started talking to girls and
You were
going out that way.
Is that how it happened with Krista AOL?
What's
Actually,
AOL? No, I'm just kidding. What's
that was
AOL?
more of a person-to-person over time, getting to know them.
Yeah, real.
Meeting her through mutual friends.
Hey, MySpace had a lot to do with my wife and I.
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we met in real life, but then there was a connection via MySpace.
Mine was basically alcohol in the University of Wisconsin, if we're gonna be honest.
Good combo.
And topper and topper sticks at like 4 a.m.
So my crush.
How every great marriage starts.
Now
in
I want
Madison,
pokey
Wisconsin.
sticks. Anyone want some pokey sticks? Anyone? You guys know what I'm talking
I
about.
feel the need now to tell you that my crush in college that never worked out. She would work at the coffee shop, and I would be like lurking outside the coffee shop on my bike, and she would come out and be like, "Are you just hanging out waiting for me to walk outside?" And just no, I wouldn't do it. No, that's okay, Marco. It's okay. Let's go sit down. No, I wasn't doing. No, let's go hang out. I would just lurk. I was a lurker.
That sounds creepy. Harm was a shove notes in the lockers guy.
That too.
The old
Carm's
notes
notes
thing back in
Yeah.
Carm's notes.
Carm's notes.
Yeah.
That's where it originated.
Oops, wrong locker. Exactly.
Yeah. Are we still in the middle of the commentary here?
No, we did
I
it.
think we finished the comment.
We finished
No,
comment.
now we're transitioning because of all these great playoff games that are going to happen this weekend. You got to have DraftKings, and the NFL playoff action continues. We're one step closer to Super Bowl 57, and for the NFL divisional round, check out DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can take a shot at an even bigger payout with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Boost your NFL winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. I already said this earlier in the week. I do like the over 46 for that 49ers-Cowboys game. A lot of explosive players in that matchup, so I like the over 46 there. And all you have to do to make sure you can just win those parlays, get that money, is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL divisional round and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Yeah, DraftKings is a place to be this weekend as we get excited about the divisional round of playoff games, and we thought we'd make some picks for you with these games coming up, and it's all going to start on Saturday afternoon, a 3:30 kickoff Central Time. Chiefs are an 8.5-point favorite at home against the Jaguars, who just keep winning football games. They find a way, and it's not always pretty. 4 interceptions in the first half last week for Trevor Lawrence, but then he turned it around. There's something about this Jaguars team.
The stat still continues. Trevor Lawrence has never lost a football game on a Saturday. That
Irrelevant stat.
it's true. It's true.
Irrelevant stat.
Came back 27 down against the Chargers on a Saturday night.
See,
Won that game.
you both are picking.
I got the Jags to cover.
cover.
I think the Chiefs win this game. I think there's a couple things here. One, just the Chiefs. I feel like all season when they were big favorites at home, either they wouldn't cover or they would just barely cover, and they would make you sweat it out. So I don't feel like this is going to be a blowout. But Andy Reid, we know his record. I don't know off the top of my head, but we know he's always good out of a bye week. They do have a bye. So I find it hard to believe that there's going to be an upset here. But I am going with the Jaguars to cover, Chiefs to win.
I mean, it's hard to go against the red-hot Jags with an 8.5-point spread, and I'm also going against the way I generally bet these games, which because I just always believe that Vegas knows and we don't. And if you do your Google work, who is the public betting on in this particular game? More of the public has taken the Chiefs with the points, but this is the one game this weekend that I'm actually betting with the public because I think Kansas City. I think the Jaguars had their Super Bowl last week. And Kansas City is Kansas City, so I will take them to roll at Arrowhead. Plus, I have them in my Super Bowl, and I just didn't feel like I could sit there and say Chiefs to the bowl, yet they're not going to cover against the Jaguars. That would feel incongruous.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a big word day for me.
It is a big word to throw out right there.
Yeah.
I just don't think Lawrence throws 4 interceptions.
I don't think you did.
Guys, I don't think he throws 4 interceptions in the first half, and they go down by that much. And, the Chiefs are 7-1 at home, but like you said, Adam, it's like they've won those games, but they haven't really covered the spread all too often. So, again, I like the Jags still losing this game, but covering that 8.5 spread.
I nailed incongruous for the record. Not in harmony or keeping with the surroundings or other aspects of something. That works.
That's Iowa.
Congratulations.
That's the Iowa education right there.
That's right. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right. Giants and Eagles Saturday night. Eagles are 7.5-point home favorite. Similar situation here for the team coming. You know, both teams that had a bye last year lost in this round. Just something to keep in mind. Giants, if Daniel Jones keeps playing like this, they're frisky.
Public loves the Giants in this game.
You know,
I believe it's like 90% of the money's on the Giants as of yesterday, at least, which is insane to me.
Wow.
Yeah, well, and
that means the Eagles
58% of the
covered.
bets is what I'm looking at, which is still, I think, an incredibly strong percentage when we're talking about the number 1 seed. So you are in my mind betting against the public, which is the right way to be. Plus, you're getting the 1 seed. I will take the Eagles all day long in this one.
I don't like the hook over the 7. Like,
Never get caught up by a hook.
you always get caught up by it.
Don't.
I guarantee you this game is a 7-point game. Mark it right here.
The
Clip
Eagles
this.
the Eagles are going to rip the shit out of the Giants. That's my prediction.
Wow. That's what happened when these teams played a few weeks ago. I was watching on the plane coming home from Paris, and it was a very boring football game because the Eagles were just killing them.
Giants ain't on that level, dog. Daniel
don't know.
Jones, you ain't on that level.
Daniel
you ain't doing
Jones-
this again, buddy.
Daniel Jones' legs can keep him in this game. I know they have a nasty pass rush in Philadelphia, but I like how they're playing. I like what Dable's doing with the offense, and I'm going to agree with Adam here that they, again, lose, but they cover that 7.5-point
Dable
spread.
can coach, man.
He's good.
So,
Yeah.
am I against you both in every game this week?
Kind of
No,
switch
you
it up
gotta.
right
You
here.
guys are you're against me in every game.
I know. That was fun.
Sunday, the early game, it's kicking off at 2. I think it's my favorite game in the weekend. It's a big game for me because I picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I am going to probably look like an idiot on this game because I feel so strongly about it. I really like the Bengals. I think they win straight up. Bengals at Bills. The Bills are now a 5-point favorite. I'm surprised by this. They were a 2.5-point favorite when they went to Cincinnati. Obviously, that game didn't get finished. Obviously, not a lot of that game got played. But I felt good about the Bengals in the part of that game that was getting played. I think that they've been a better team over the last couple months than the Bills. I like how Joe Burrow's playing right now over Josh Allen, who's turned the ball over 30 times.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why I like the Bengals to not only cover the 5, but win this football game outright.
I mean, Buffalo looked like complete dog shit last week. So there's that. But again, the public loves Cincinnati, loves the Bengals. So I'm getting what many people believe to be the best team in football, less than a touchdown at home. Come on, man. Josh Allen, don't do this. This is your time. You've dropped down to levels that are uncomfortable for us Josh Allen believers out here. You must come correct against Joe Burrow at home.
Look, is it crazy to say that the Bengals are in the playoffs because of a goal line stand that, happened with a backup quarterback taking off from, the 3, trying to stretch it out there? And
Woof.
It was a big defensive play that changed the whole dynamic of that game, but the Ravens were in it.
The Ravens are good, though.
They're good, but that was
The
Tyler
defense,
Huntley.
the defense is really good.
Come on. It
Nick,
was
stick to your
Tyler
guns. You're on to
Huntley.
something here.
Yeah,
Tyler
it's
Huntley,
Tyler
scream it.
Huntley.
It's a divisional matchup against a defense that knows them really well. If there's ever a team that was going to slow down the Bengals in the playoffs, it was the Ravens. It's not the Buffalo Bills.
Well, this week in my pick, it's the Buffalo Bills slowing down the Bengals, and I'm agreeing with Carm here. I think the Bengals played like you said, Mark, like shit against the Miami Dolphins with their third-string quarterback. I don't think that happens again. I know Josh Allen's been turning over the ball, but going with the Bills here.
All right. Cowboys, 49ers, the last game of the weekend. I love a Cowboys 49ers playoff game.
It's
This is
iconic.
This is the 90s, baby, and the 70s.
Sunday night, love it.
What was this rivalry like in the 70s?
It's another old reference. Let me tell you something. Montana to Clark at about 5:42 on a Sunday afternoon
the
before
catch.
60 minutes. Summerall and Madden.
Was that?
It's not. Let me just tell you something. With all due respect to today and everything that's and all the coolness that.
Wait, wasn't that Vince Scully? Or am I making that up? Or was Scully like the radio call?
I'm
you're
not
saying it was
1,000%
Madden
certain
Summerall?
that I'm right, but I'm like 999% certain that
Man.
the TV.
Nick missed Madden and Summerall. I mean, they were iconic.
It was.
I miss them so much.
You do.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
100%.
No, I mean, he just physically missed them, like never.
Oh
heard
yeah, he
them.
never got to. Yeah, I just missed them.
Yes, I miss them.
And I love Frank Caliendo's impressions of them.
Are you old enough to remember the Alcoa Fantastic Finish?
Yes.
I know you are.
Oh my God, I love
know
the
what that is.
Alcoa.
So
Alcoa can't wait.
in the fourth quarter, they would come in with the commercial Alcoa Fantastic Finishes, and they'd show some amazing finish. You were glued to the screen, and then Lawrence do the jingle again because I don't remember.
Alcoa can't wait.
Alcoa can't wait. The Alcoa Fantastic Finish for those of us 42 plus.
My guy Burge 7F91 says it was Vin Scully and Hank Stram for TV, and then radio was Jack Buck and Pat Summerall.
Well, I just remember every game apparently as Summerall and Madden then because it should have been Summerall and Madden. Really? I'm gonna watch that one.
No, I thought it was because when Vin passed away, I thought I remember just all the things he did, and that was one
Yeah.
when I was like,
Okay.
oh man.
Very cool.
As for this game, I'm taking the 49ers to cover the 3.5. I think that their defense is just so good. I mean, I don't know that I'm all in on Brock Purdy, but I'm enough in on Brock Purdy that he's going to keep this machine rolling. And more so than anything else, you cannot get me to trust a team that just missed 4 straight extra points.
They just signed a kicker,
when this game is going to be
Yeah.
a lot closer.
Christian Vizcaíno.
Vizcaíno.
Okay, I'll take Robbie Gold every day,
Yeah.
please.
University of Washington. Never heard of him. Tristan? I thought it was Christian.
He was once
Tristan?
traded for Anthony Young. Jose Vizcaíno. Anthony
I
Young.
know. I was going to go with
You
Luis
were there?
Vizcaíno,
You were-
but yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Jose Vizcaíno's their kicker?
No.
Jose Vizcaíno was his Cubs shortstop who was traded for Anthony Young, who was
Hey, Vizcaíno.
Anthony Young was the Cubs of
Here's
all
a
teams
guy
traded for Anthony
who
Young.
grew
was-
up in the Dominican Republic where it was sunny 360 days of the year.
Anthony Young was 0-100, and the Cubs traded for him. And I remember Steve Stone being on there like, well, you wonder why the guy's 0-100. Well, now you see it. Ground ball back to the pitcher, and he throws it into right field. That's what we did. Vizcaíno for Anthony Young. Vizcaíno was a good player. Anthony Young was not.
Anytime you feel talk about the 49ers Cowboys, it would be
Dallas. Okay, let me tell you this. Dallas looked fantastic against the Bucs. Fantastic. Dak looked fantastic. The Cowboys are on a mission. There's a reason why me and Greg Braggs have them in the Super Bowl, and that reason is included in the reason why they're going to come into San Francisco and beat Brock Purdy and beat the Niners and even out physical the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go, Dallas. I don't feel confident, but I'm going to start talking very confidently right now that you're going to do this one because I have you as the sexy pick to the Super Bowl. Let's go, boys.
I can't say anything better than that, Mark. I also have the Cowboys. I like what Micah Parsons, that defensive, what they did to the Bucs. Again, they were playing pretty
Bucks
awful
are
all season.
trash.
Yeah, the Bucs are trash. But I think Brock Purdy's had a pretty, smooth sailing since he's been starting.
Eat him, Micah.
And I think this is going to be a challenge for him. He's going to face a really good defense. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I just cannot wait till Monday when I get to come in here and laugh at you guys for trusting Mike McCarthy and a bad kicker. Just not a lot of logic
come down
there.
to the kicker.
Or will we come in laughing at you and Brock frickin' Purdy?
True.
The man who just bought in all the Niners hype.
I'm buying into everything but Brock Purdy, but I think Brock Purdy can do enough to steer the ship. We've seen enough evidence here. Jimmy Garoppolo did it long enough.
I don't feel comfortable. The Niners look real good.
They do.
The Niners are playing great football. The Niners
good.
the Niners were fantastic last week. But hey, I'm pot committed on Dallas.
And Braggs, I saw your stats on Josh Allen in there. You neglected to put in anything about turnovers. I just found that was really weird.
They don't exist.
How many straight games with 3 turnovers?
Have they won?
I don't know, but they played the Bears that one time, and then they barely beat the Dolphins, who looked terrible at the end of the season. The Bills don't look good.
The Bills have been playing terrible.
They don't look that good.
You flip the switch, Buffalo. Let's
gonna figure it
go.
out.
You are not losing
not
to the Bengals at home.
Yeah. I agree with everyone else in the chat, by the way. That was a really good Harry Carey impression.
Hey! Technically, it's actually, that was my John Campanera doing Harry Carey. Do you remember Campanera?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was him, then it was Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
My impressions are just impressions of people doing impressions. But
Well,
thank you,
that's how
Brandon.
you get the good impressions, right?
We do have a couple super chats I'd like to get to.
All right.
This was from a while ago from Chris. Who says he says Jalen Carter's stock is rising. Will Anderson's is falling. Arizona will probably pick Carter at 3, and if we trade with the Colts, we will get Anderson at 4. That's my take.
Not a bad take, Chris. You could very well be right, which is why we're going to trade down to 2 with Houston. And then we're going to make a huge deal, and then we're going to take one of the...
I'm just confused how stock is already falling and rising. When
The combine hasn't happened.
all the
nothing's
tape is
happened.
in.
Yeah.
They're not in any All-Star games right now. The combine's still a month and a half away.
Are you questioning Paguro, who just super chatted us?
No, I like his take.
It's Peguero.
I'm sorry.
Peguero. Huh?
I'm confused at whose stock is falling and why.
Depends on who you talk to and
Depends
who you
on
read.
the day.
Peguero's got contacts. He's got stock up, stock down.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Might have to book him for the show.
New segment, I think. Stock up, stock
We
down.
might have to do this.
Yeah. All right.
not a bad
Then we got
sponsor.
this last super chat. From,
It's from some guy named Braggs in the stands.
Look at that logo.
And he says, cheers to Goose Island. Honk, honk.
Cheers, Braggs. Cheers to Goose. Awesome first show with Goose on board.
Braggs, we miss you. It's a super nice thing to give a super chat to our new partner, our new teammate. We love you, Goose.
Drink Goose, have fun, everybody.
Yeah, I meant to mention the no plans. The beer no plans is excellent. Had it last weekend for the first time.
Very good. Very good beer.
I'm excited to have Goose on board. I don't know if you can tell. I'll be hanging out this weekend, watching football, drinking Goose, laughing at the Cowboys.
I've got an incredible weekend planned. I'm hoping that Northwestern can get through their COVID. I'll be at Cats Badgers on Saturday. And then I've got Sunday morning tennis into football. You cannot beat that for a weekend. Wow. That is a weekend plan.
Wait, is that game happening?
I don't know. I know that the Northwestern Iowa game has been rescheduled for a Tuesday night. So if you'd like to drive out there with me, let's go.
I couldn't think of anything less I'd rather do.
Really? Nothing less?
Drive to Iowa City?
Oh, it's so good. Stop at
The
Mickey's.
river running through it. Where are you going, Mickey's?
I would. That's not even close to a
The
number.
Vine?
Vine.
Some wings?
I would,
They're closing down Hamburg Inn.
No, they're not.
Yes.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
I know that.
That cannot be true.
Yeah, or the second one.
Let's get Chris's
Lynn
last
Street?
name right. He threw another
Yes.
super chat. It's Peg Arrow.
Peguero.
Peguero.
Peg Arrow.
Peguero.
Thank you, Chris. You
Thank
did
you,
not have to
Chris.
pay for that, but thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's depressing as all hell that the Hamburg Inn's closing.
All right, well, I'm out of here. These guys are going to stay here and talk about random places in Iowa City. But otherwise, it's the Will and Nick extravaganza tomorrow at noon. Check them out.
I'm hanging around for the 3 o'clock show today.
Oh, no. I get another hour of you? Great.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes.
And we got the Bulls in Paris. So make sure you're following all of their coverage as that's all happening today.
2
It's
o'clock
right
game?
here at CHGO. Talk to you later.